Good evening. So, who out there loves it when they confront their child and their child blames somebody else? Maybe they even blame you. Well, that is what we're going to talk about today. All week long, I've been discussing different ways that your child responds when they are in the midst of a tantrum or they're told no. And as much as I would like to take credit for these ideas, I did a post last week and asked all of you parents out there, how does your child respond? What do they say when they're in the midst of a tantrum or they are told no? And so I gathered up some of the most common responses and I'm doing some videos on them. So if you've missed some of the others, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I did broadcasts on these topics. So feel free to go back and check those out. Thank you for those of you who are tuning in live and people catching the replay. I so appreciate you tuning in. Oh, it looks like Miss Allie is with us. Hi. And, this is a topic that I have had a lot of parents ask me about recently. And so I really wanted to make sure to do a quick video on it to just encourage as many people as I can. So now, because I have people share my video from time to time, let me introduce who I am and why you should be listening to anything that is coming out of my mouth. So my name is Jillian. I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor, and my expertise is in managing children's behavior. So I work with parents, and my business is Fly on the Wall Counseling. I provide online support services for parents who have tried everything to address their children's challenging behaviors, and I help to equip them with the tools they need to restore peace to their hearts and their homes. And so one of those ways is through these live videos, and I'm excited to chat about this topic today. So, blaming. First of all, if you know me, I always like to talk about the why. So why would children blame in the first place? Now, most people would probably immediately say, well, they don't want to get in trouble. Very true, but it can be a little bit more than just not wanting to get in trouble, not wanting to look like the bad one. So children blame because, let's be honest, the weight of responsibility, the weight of admitting I did something bad, the weight and the burden that comes with being accountable is heavy. It's heavy. And we as adults even don't like to admit when we make mistakes. And so when the child makes a mistake, it's even weightier because the person who's confronting them has so much more power and authority over them. And so that weight of accountability feels much, much heavier on a child than it would with you. So think about it this way. Let's say that you stole some candy from your child's Halloween bag, which is going to happen very soon for a lot of you. Let's say that you stole some candy from your child's Halloween bag and they came to you and they were like, Mom, did you take my Halloween candy? Like, I was really wanting to eat that Reese's. And you're like, yeah, I did that. And, but you know that it's your child. They don't really have much power to do anything over you. Now, if you were at work and you decided to steal your boss's treats or steal a cupcake or something from your boss, and you were to be caught by your boss and they had something to say to you, then all of a sudden that weight of accountability feels a lot heavier than if your child did. So think of it like that. When your child is being held accountable by you, your authority over them puts a lot more pressure and a lot more weight on them when they have to fess up. So that's just kind of a fun parallel for you to think on as to why it's so hard sometimes for kids to take responsibility. Because the person forcing them to take it, which of course taking responsibility and accountability are very good things, but just keep in mind and have some empathy that it's hard and it's scary when someone in authority over you asks you to do such a thing. So that's one reason why. The other reason why is sometimes the fear of getting in trouble outweighs the fear of saying that they lied. So, they may think like, okay, I might get in trouble for lying, but it's totally worth the risk to not get in trouble if this flies. They're not able to logically think like, I'm totally going to get caught for lying. They're not able to, in that moment, say like, hey, my mom is smart. She's going to figure out that I'm not telling the truth. They just have such a fear of getting in trouble, and they don't want to get in trouble, or maybe they don't want to upset you or let you down. That's often a time a child will blame somebody else and make up a lie that it happened a different way because they don't want to let you down. And of course, you just want them to tell you the truth, but they can't see that in that moment. In that moment, they are just so afraid of the idea that I messed up, or I don't want to get in trouble, or I don't want to let mom or dad down. So it's another reason why blaming can often happen. So when they actually blame someone or make up some kind of a lie in the midst of their frustration, arguing is not going to get you anywhere. Asserting that they are lying isn't going to get you anywhere. It's just going to add more angst. Now, is it true that they're lying? Yes. Do you, as a parent, have a right to confront wrong, inappropriate behavior? Absolutely. You can do that. But if you want it to be effective, confronting it right in that moment is not necessarily ideal. Your child is too worked up. They're too much in that spot of fear. They have too much of a feeling of you are an authority figure over them, that it's not going to be very easy to get through to them. So if they are blaming, then it's, I guess you're not really ready to talk about this. I think you need to go take a break. And when you're ready, in a few minutes, then we can talk about this. But asserting you're lying, tell me the truth. You're lying, tell me the truth. Stop blaming other people. Take responsibility. All those things that are very natural ways to address what's going on and respond to your child is not going to actually get them to the place where they do it. Now, maybe they do sometimes, but most of the time it's probably going to be tenuous and stressful. So making sure to give them the space and let them know, I don't think you're really ready for this. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Giving them time to be by themselves in quietness, that will start to get uncomfortable with them, and they'll get a feeling that and that can go on for as long as it needs to go on. I guess you're not ready to talk about this yet. That way you're not outright saying anything like you're lying, so they can't argue back. And you're limiting your speech as well so that they have less fuel to add to their emotional fire. So you also can tell them, I don't need to argue with you about this. Just because they want to argue doesn't mean that you have to enter into the argument. I'm going to say that again. Just because they want to argue does not mean that you have to enter into the argument. That is a quick way for your child to gain power and control over you, and a quick way for you to lose power and control over your child. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be, an authoritarian and super reprimanding or whatnot, but you absolutely need to step back your authority, not make it so apparent to them so that you can actually get somewhere and they don't feel that weight like we were talking about earlier of someone who is over them trying to force them into taking accountability. Sometimes kids just need time. So I hope some of these tips and tricks were helpful to you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, comments. Feel free to leave them below. You can always reach out to me via personal message. And if you love these videos, I have a private group that I run that's a support group for parents called Restoring Peace to Parents. I would love to have you join in, and you can get in on some extra feedback and information on parenting, and of course be a part of our awesome supportive community. So thank you, everyone. I will see you tomorrow, and have a great night. Bye.